Bill Jones was one of the first Black celebrity photographers in Hollywood, working the red carpet at a time when Black entertainers were often overlooked. His prolific body of work encompasses more than 100,000 slides, negatives, and prints. And now his granddaughter is carrying on his legacy.
Bill Jones was smart. He was honorable, God-fearing, hardworking. He shot every single Grammys, VH1 awards. He's the first Black photographer to shoot the Oscars and be invited by the Academy themselves. The BET Awards was his favorite because he actually started the red carpet for the BET Awards. Oprah Winfrey, one of his favorite subjects to shoot. He had his favorites. His favorites were always the A-listers, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, and Morgan Freeman. He worked with those who really had a love for the craft and studied it. Everything with Michael Jackson, he covered. From Gary, Indiana to LA, he covered Michael Jackson and his family. I am Latoya Jones, known as Toy Jones, and I'm the granddaughter of Bill Jones. He started shooting in the 50s. His hobby was photography, but as his main job, he served the United States Air Force. He met Cassius Clay while he was stationed in London. Muhammad Ali was in town for the Henry Cooper fight in 1963 when he was still Cassius Clay. Muhammad stopped my grandfather because he saw a young Black man with a camera. And then my grandfather told him he was in the Air Force and he was studying at the London School of Photography. While in the Air Force, he threw fashion shows. And then from developing those photos and looking back at how we looked in the photos, he decided to start shooting celebrities. He wanted to capture our essence in a positive light. As African Americans, we never had exposure, positive exposure. So that's when he decided, when he retired from the Air Force, to move to California, to LA, because that's where he knew the stars were. He worked with a famous celebrity promoter named Roland Words, and they would throw fashion shows and my grandfather would shoot them. Then he met Hal Jackson, who was head of Hal Jackson's International Talented Teams. So we had Halle Berry, we had Jada Pinkett, we had Alicia Keys. He worked with all the big names. You know, when you go to some of these events, you have positions that they put you in. So a lot of the Black photographers were in the back of the line, and a lot of the white photographers were in the front. But my grandfather he made his mark so much in Hollywood, they had him in the front of the line in the 80s. He was invited to these people's homes because they trusted him. So there's so many events, private events from their homes that we have in archives that some photos may never get out. One thing about him is the whole family. My grandmother, my mother, my grandmother and me were the ones that put the names on the back of the photos so we could file them. So he made the family a part of the business. I never knew he was who he was until he was attacked in front of our home on 60th and Crenshaw. My grandfather was in a coma for a month and a half. While he was in a coma, Halle Berry, she came and she held a candlelight visual for him. Once he came out of the coma, you could see the strength in him. He taught himself how to walk again, how to write again. His right hand was paralyzed, so he had to relearn how to shoot again with his left hand. I never seen him as the best photographer or how the world sees him. I just saw him as a really great grandfather. He raised me from day one. I don't make any decisions unless I think what he would have did or what he taught me. My grandfather mentored almost every Black photographer in Los Angeles. He mentored, and some from Chicago. One of his mentees were Arnold Turner, who's still shooting to this day, and he covers a lot of the big events now. To carry on his legacy now, I created a program called Rolling Out the Red Carpet for our youth. And I go to different schools and I roll out a carpet. I let them hear the history behind my grandfather, and I give them a small exhibit. And I also encourage kids to stick with their passions. What makes his photographs pivotal and unique is it's not the person that's in the picture, it's the person that shot the picture. You can always feel the energy from certain photos. So if that person is projecting a light in you or positivity, then his light shone in all his pictures.
If you'd like to learn more about Bill Jones, reach out to Bill Jones Legacy on Instagram.